Welcome to another episode of 3-Minute Tesla Tips. We're going to do the nav system today. We'll try to make this one a quick one. We're going on a road trip or we're going in town. We're going to need this. This is just like Google Maps, which is great. You can zoom in and scroll it around way better than if you were to do it on your computer. And you can see more information on here, which is useful. Now, on the right-hand side, we can scroll in and out if we wanted to, and that's the way it's going to stay while we're driving. On the right-hand side, we can turn on and off satellite view if you have premium connectivity. We have these lines here, which traffic, which is the next button down, we can turn on and off. And the bottom here tells you where the charging stations are that are Tesla specific. Now, we can look at all the different types on here. We have these ones that are big and obvious in red. Those are the fast chargers. Those are the ones that'll charge you super quickly that you'd be using on the road trip. And if we look at this one in particular, we see there's little red lines. Those tell you that there are 15 out of 17 available. So we know that's not a completely full station. If it was, it'd be completely red. But with so many stalls, you're not going to be waiting that long. It'll also give you the charging rate, how much it would cost you to stay there, and it's based off the minutes in Canada. Now, on here as well, we have some smaller charging stations, which these ones are destination chargers. Like if you were to go to stay overnight at the resort and spa, for example, you could spend the night there and you'd use their charger and wake up in the morning with a full charge in your car. Really useful when you're going on a road trip, so you don't have to charge as often. Now, you are on a road trip. What you would worry about is you see the red dots. These are all the chargers, and if we keep going out, we can see them all over the place. The bright red ones are the ones that we can make it to on our particular charge right now. If we want to go out further, it's going to have to make a few stops, but we don't have to worry about thinking of which ones to stop to. Instead, we hit navigate here. We choose the place we're going to, which will be Calgary, and it's going to come up with the route and how to get there. It's going to choose the stops that it thinks it needs to stop at, but it's not hitting every single supercharger. So you are going a fair distance before charging up again. On this particular trip, it's decided I'm going to Hope, BC. I'll be at 30% charge. I'll stop for 20 minutes, and then I'll continue on my way to Kamloops. I'll stop for 15 minutes, and then Revelstoke and stop for 55 minutes. So that'll be a long charge all the way up to Calgary. I'll arrive at Calgary at 9% charge, and I'm done. 9% charge isn't a lot, though. So when I get to Calgary, I'm going to want to make sure that I have enough or a place to charge when I get there. And I know myself that there is a supercharger there, so I wouldn't be that worried about it. Now that's under 949 kilometers, and you're not required to stop for that amount of time. You can stop for longer if you wanted to, and give yourself a little bit more of a leeway, and the car will calculate the route based off of that. Now, if we had decided that we wanted to start partially on this route, and we wanted to go to, say, this one here, which is Merritt. Now, Merritt is 186 kilometers, is 288 kilometers, so we should be able to do that. But there's a lot of hills going out there. So if we hit to navigate to there, it's going to say you're going to want to stop at the supercharger in Surrey, which is about 20 minutes away. And it actually preconditions the battery so it gets the charge quicker, which is great for going on these trips. You get out faster. But I can get all the way up to Merritt, and now it's saying that it's going to take 252 kilometers of my range to get there because of the hills. I could theoretically still make it. So if I hit remove charging stops, then it'll take away that one stop and get me out to Merritt all in one go. Now, if I do that, it's going to say I'm going to arrive with 5% battery. Now, 5% isn't a whole lot. So the car takes this into consideration. It tells me I need to do 95 kilometers an hour to reach that. And that's assuming that I'm not running the heat more than usual. Now, this number on here of 288 kilometers is based off of my driving habits. And since I drive in the city and not on the highway that much, it is slightly off. So we can see what it's seen. If we go down here and we hit energy, it gives us a graph, which will tell us what we see during our day, up and down hills. Maybe I'm flooring it, maybe I'm taking smooth. It'll give me an idea of how much charge I'm going to use over time. But on this trip, it's basing it off that. And if I use too much heat or cooling, it's going to change that. If we look on the trip, it tells me that this is not a smooth line. It actually dips quite a lot here. And that's because that's where some hills are. And at the end, it smooths out. So I'm going down the hills at that point. It's giving me a funny icon here because it knows I'm going to be super low on charge. It doesn't want me to do that, but I can still do it. Maybe I've got a charge on the way that it doesn't know about, or, it'll let me do it still. It's not going to stop me. Now, I wouldn't do this. I would like to get an extra little bit of a charge before going, so I charge longer at home, or I'd stop at that spot that it wanted to, or another one on the way, just to make sure I arrive with lots of extra. Even though there is a charger in Merritt, I don't like to play too close to the end. Now, that's for road trips, which is very, very important. That's the thing you're going to have to worry about the most. But if you're in the city, you can hit navigate and type in any place you might want to. So if I want to go get some burritos, it'll give me that location and it'll tell you where to turn and all that, and then how much charge I'll get when I get there, which I really wouldn't be looking at in the city. How long and when I'm arriving, the distance. It's a lot of information, really useful. But it stays like this, so that way I can see what the next couple of turns are, which is what I'm really going to be looking for. Now, if I didn't know where I wanted to go, and I was really hungry, I'd hit hungry here. Now this is going to give me a random place. It's going to give me Simply Curries. I've never been that. I don't know where it's like. Sure, let's see where that is and how long it'd take. And it gives me the same map as you normally have. If I decided I wanted to, I could change that to another destination, go hungry again, and I'm going to get, Spice of Nepal restaurant, which is down the street. Alternatively, we have Lucky on here, which isn't food oriented. It's more location oriented. So there's a Gastown steam clock that we can go to. It's pretty neat. I've been there. It'd be nice to go to. 25.9 kilometers away, so it's pretty far. The other thing on here, we have home and work, which we can set up. If we set in here, we can set the place as our work address. Now, pretend I worked at the burrito place. Save as work. Now, if I wanted to go to work, I would hold this and drag down, and now it's going to automatically go to where I have set for work. If I was near my work, it's going to automatically set me to home. So it knows I'm going to be basically at one or the other. And actually, if I'm not at either locations, depending on the time of day, probably this time of day, since it's about 6:30, it'll want to send me home if I were to do that. So that's basically the trip, the different things that I use on my nav. I don't look at it a whole lot while I'm driving, but it is really useful when you're going to places you're not quite sure of. So thanks for checking out this video, and please give me a like or a thumbs up. More people can see this kind of stuff. These videos are really important to get out there. There's a lot of questions I keep getting asked about this, so I want to show everybody the answer to this question without them having to ask me directly. So hopefully you've made your life into your plug life like I have, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later.